Now today, the new information we're learning about a man who allegedly kidnapped and sexually abused an 11-year-old in Salem.
Also this hour, newly released surveillance video shows the moments this woman gets attacked in the middle of the day by a man in the Pearl District. People who live in that neighborhood say things have got to change.
Then later, Washington State is sitting on more than $2 billion in unclaimed funds, and some of it may be yours. You may be able to get it back ahead on the 8 o'clock hour of Sunrise. Good morning, and thank you for joining us live at 8 o'clock. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. Chris McGinnis, Rod Hill standing by. Rod, if I told you that there was $3 million of yours that was unclaimed and that you could have it today, would I see you here tomorrow?
No.
$3 million.
I've tried to come up with a number that makes it a little difficult.
Here's what I would do. I would check with my good friend Chris. I'd say, Chris, here's a couple big, shiny $100 bills. Can you work for me tomorrow? I assume Chris would say yes. I would take tomorrow off.
You could add a few more $100 bills to that.
Okay. Then I might be back on Monday. I don't know. $3 million, now that's tempting. Here's a look at our weather. Sky cameras, Chinook Winds Casino in Lincoln City, overcast. We do believe this will show clearing before the noon hour. 59 is the number right now. It's a thin cloud deck. If you look up at the clouds this morning, you'll see little breaks in between them. So confidence is pretty high. We're going to see developing sun later this morning in Portland as well. We're at 62. 67 to noon, a very comfortable temperature of 75 degrees. All right, Chris, $300. You talked me into it.
Three. Let's go a little north. Maybe add another zero next to that, and then we'll talk. All right, let's go ahead. I got standards, man. Let's go ahead and pick it up on the west side. Photojournalist Chad D. Hart is driving through the work zone. This is Cornelius Pass Road between Germantown and Skyline Boulevard. The dry weather today means that ODOT will be back at chip sealing on that stretch of Oregon Highway 127. It's a big deal because there's not a lot of ways to get around this. For a lot of the traffic trying to get from, say, northwest Portland to Hillsborough. So with that in mind, your detour Highway 30, I-405, and Highway 26. While the work is ongoing today, starting at 8 o'clock, today and tomorrow, they will be directing traffic through one lane at a time using pilot cars. So just know that that could create some significant delays. Inbound Sunset's been slow at the Sylvan Hill, but it's getting better. 24 minutes now, your drive to get in from Hillsborough to the Vista Ridge Tunnel. Drew?
All right, thank you, Chris. Let's get to our top story here at 8 o'clock. An 11-year-old girl with autism who went missing from her home in Salem earlier this week is safe this morning.
Police say a man attempted to kidnap her from her front yard, but thanks to the help from neighbors, they were able to find her. Sunrise reporter Corey Johnson has the latest on this, including reaction from the girl's family. Corey.
That's right. The girl's father tells us it all started when they called outside to her on Tuesday afternoon. They thought she might be picking blackberries, but she wasn't there. Soon after, they called Salem police and a 3-hour search ensued. Now, authorities, neighbors, and a bloodhound searched the nearby area. Then a neighbor noticed some suspicious activity in a secluded area covered by bushes. That's when officers found the girl and arrested the suspect. He's identified as 48-year-old Elijah Galaviz Arce. Detectives say Arce lured the 11-year-old from her home. Now, thankfully, that child wasn't injured or hurt. Surveillance video showed the moments Arce was arrested less than a quarter mile from where he'd allegedly taken her. He's now facing kidnapping and sex abuse charges. Roy Ivy, the girl's father, says she's never wandered before.
I don't let them go by themselves anywhere for this reason. I am pissed at anybody who thinks that this is okay. These are children. Let them be children.
Now, detectives say Arce has a criminal record that includes prior sexual offenses. He's now booked in the Marion County Jail. Detectives also tell us Arce could have additional victims. Anyone with information is asked to call the Salem Police tip line at the number listed on your screen.
Corey, thank you. Meantime, police in Longview are searching for an armed and dangerous man they say stabbed 2 people, killing one of them. 51-year-old Alexander Rogers right there may still be driving this partially black spray-painted BMW with a Washington plate that starts with BNU. He's accused of killing 64-year-old Don Peters and trying to kill 73-year-old Andrew Peters. Police say they were found stabbed in a home off 42nd Avenue and Pennsylvania Street Tuesday. Investigators believe he is still in the area.
Vancouver police say they found a man dead in his apartment after he crashed a tow truck into several cars and then ran away. This happened last night just after 5 o'clock. You see here on Mill Plain, right near 160th. Police say the suspect ran a red light, hit at least 4 cars. 10 people were hurt, 2 of them seriously. Police later found the driver at his apartment complex, but when officers got inside his apartment, they say he was already dead from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. Following that story, we do want to remind you that if you or someone you know is struggling, help is available 24/7. You can call or text that number on your screen, 988, to reach the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, which provides confidential support and crisis resources.
Portland police have identified the man suspected of drawing a swastika on the door frame of a Northeast Portland business. They say community tips helped them identify the man as 38-year-old Joseph Thompson. Thompson was already in jail, accused of threatening someone with a knife and yelling slurs in the Lloyd district. Police also confirmed Thompson was arrested in May after causing damage to a Papa Murphy's in Woodstock, but he was released on bail. Thompson now faces a new bias crime charge related to the swastika drawing.
All right, take a look at this next video. It shows a woman in the Pearl District out front of the Fields Bar and Grill on 11th and Northrop, and she is attacked right there, basically out of nowhere. Someone from the restaurant thankfully helped her to get inside, then locked the door.
That attack is just a recent example of what longtime residents in the Pearl say is a significant shift when it comes to safety.
Well, it makes us feel unsafe, especially when the assaults are happening in our blocks. And, you know, they're happening to elderly people because we have a huge elderly population here in the Pearl.
I did buy some mace, some mace, because I realized you got to protect yourself. You know, there's no police to come to your rescue.
In another incident last month, Portland police say a man followed a resident into a condo parking garage, stole a camping hatchet from a vehicle, and then carried around inside the garage. Neighbors we spoke with also expressed concerns that the new 200-bed homeless overnight shelter that's set to open in the area next month will only make the problem worse.
Friendly House in Northwest Portland is trying to expand its free preschool program to serve more kids on the county's wait list. So this program provides free schooling for 3- and 4-year-olds and is funded by a county tax on high-income earners. Friendly House is small. It only serves about 15 preschool students, and classes are currently held in the very same building as the Community and Homeless Day Center in Northwest Portland. So they're hoping to change that and move operations into a separate building that will let them increase the number of students to 60.
The space being in a public building, we have a community center downstairs. At times doesn't feel like it's the best space for kids.
Getting the kids into their own purpose-built space felt like a high priority.
Yesterday, Multnomah County held the first in a series of public meetings about Preschool for All. You can find more information about that in the latest episode of The Story, streaming anytime right here on KGW+.
The state of Washington may have money that belongs to you. Our sister station in Seattle shows us how you can claim your funds.
Welcome to the vault at the Washington State Capitol, where the Treasurer's Office staff may be cutting you a check soon.
The state's Department of Revenue has about $2.5 billion in unclaimed property and cash. 1 in 7 Washingtonians have something owed to them. Collectibles and jewelry come from safety deposit boxes that have been abandoned. But the overwhelming majority of what the state is holding is money from closed bank accounts, stock dividends, or rebate checks that never quite made it to you. Maybe you moved, or it was meant for your grandparents. There's a website to see if the state has anything you are entitled to, but in 2023, the state started reaching out to owners directly.
We are locating properties within our system that are more straightforward. We're contacting residents of Washington, letting them know they have something out there so we can get it out to them with minimal documentation.
Again, that was longtime friend of the Sunrise Show, Drew Mickelson, reporting for us from Seattle. People, by the way, in Oregon can also check on unclaimed funds. You can go to unclaimed.oregon.gov. You see the website. We pulled it up here on the screen for you. This is an updated look, and it shows right there on the screen $661 million in unclaimed money already returned. So they're giving back the money. You just have to reach out and see if some of it's yours.
Have you put your name in there, Rod Hill?
Yeah, no, but here's what's troubling. I share this with you. So, true story yesterday. I had to go to the Department of Revenue in Washington up in Clark County. Had a little excise, what they call excise tax matter I had to take care of. It was $50. So I had to write a check for $50. And then I come to work today and I realize they've got billions sitting around, and yet they took my $50.
I can't believe earlier you questioned whether you would come back to, if you got $3 million tomorrow, no taxes, just here's $3 million, you're done with working. I know that's true.
I love you guys, man.
That's nice.
Well, I would come back and expect a nice going away party, then I would leave. How's that? Here's our rainfall map from yesterday. This is terrific news. PDX and Tillamook, the wet bullseyes here in Oregon. Tillamook at 31/100ths. And look at PDX. This went into the record book. Not a record for the date, but 43/100ths of an inch. Half of it was yesterday morning. And then it surprised me that we had another 2/10 basically during the afternoon into the evening of scattered shower activity. Salem kind of missed out, just barely manageable rainfall for you folks. The rain, we did talk about the rain mostly being in terms of decent amounts. Portland to the north, that turned out to be true. Vancouver 3/10, Kelso 17/100ths, Hoquiam 3/10. You've got Seattle 16/100, Stampede Pass in the Cascades 77/100ths of an inch of rain came down. The sun today is already showing up in the gorge and central and eastern areas of our state. Here's the Oregon Veterans Home camera out in the Dalles, not reporting a temperature. The weather station, something's wrong. I'm not sure when that's going to be back online. You folks are expecting west winds this afternoon with maybe some gusts to 30 miles per hour. Here in the west side, or on the west side, we have clouds that are expected to break up starting before the noon hour. 62 right now. And you can see some breaks in the thin cloud deck from the Portland Spirit Landing. There's the south waterfront and the Tilcomb Crossing. So again, the clouds, I think they'll start going here in the next hour or two. We'll slowly start to see increasing sun. 59 in Tigard, no problems. Winds are light. We're really looking great out there. 63 degrees in Salem. I do want to show you the 7-day forecast. We get up to 75 today. Then we go 82, 86. It now looks like only 2 90-something degree days, Sunday and Monday. Here's Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. Let's get you back to your drive south of town. I-5 into Wilsonville. The traffic a little slow over the Boone Bridge, and then the speeds actually pick up once you get north of Wilsonville Road. That said, obviously, it's a little busy on that side of town. We'll go ahead and give you the drive times. Right now, your drive in from Wilsonville Road to the Markham Bridge, about 20, well, look, it just dropped down to 23 minutes. Over on the west side, the inbound Sunset puttering along a little bit, and I-5 through North Portland. There we go. Give it a little kick here. Come on, come on, come on. I-5 southbound traffic. The end of the line has crossed the interstate bridge. But once you get down to Delta Park, we're riding the brakes pretty hard. So we're looking at about 14 to 15 minutes to get you from bridge to bridge, from the interstate to the Fremont. Drew?
All right, Chris, how about this? Coming up next on Sunrise, we're still talking about extreme weather in many parts of the country. We're going to show you where things are really being hit hardest when Sunrise continues in just a moment. Plus,
this morning, President Trump's tariffs are in effect. We'll have the latest on that. Plus, could there be a face-to-face meeting between the president and Russian President Putin in the next few days? I'm Jay Gray. We'll explain coming up.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Extreme weather conditions are still impacting a lot of the country, from big-time heat in the southwest to flooding and wildfire smoke out in the east.
NBC's Liz Kreutz is in Tempe, Arizona, just outside of Phoenix, which is dealing with a record-breaking heat wave.
This morning, the country is combating wild weather from coast to coast, from dangerous downpours to out-of-control wildfires to oppressive heat. Over 30 million Americans are under heat alerts today.
It is really hot right now.
The summer temps reaching sweltering highs, expected to smash records from Colorado to California. And it's unbelievably hot in Arizona. Phoenix melted its previous record high on Wednesday, reaching 116 degrees and expected to go even higher today. Firefighters telling us they're on standby with these cold water immersion bags to treat people suffering from heat stroke. Crews use one on this man who collapsed in over 100-degree heat while hiking.
Once we start reaching that 110, 115-degree weather, people need to take every precaution before going out in the heat.
The relentless heat fueled red flag warnings and the potential for wildfires. Across the West, more than 40 large fires are actively burning, including this one in California that has charred more than 90,000 acres. Near the Grand Canyon, the 7th largest blaze in state history is still growing. While further east, rising water is the problem. In the Carolinas, another day of heavy rain and flash floods taking a fatal turn. Authorities in Nash County say 2 people were swept away and drowned after their car was trapped in high waters as the dangerous weather continues from coast to coast.
So again, we're really fortunate here at home. This is correct. It doesn't sound correct, but it is correct. We have one large wildfire burning. It's nearly in Oregon. It's nearly completely contained. It's in grasslands out in Malheur County near the Idaho border. And the fires up in Washington, most of them show good containment too, and they're mainly up in the northern third of the state. And we've had really no noticeable wildfire smoke here in Portland this entire summer, right?
You can't say that we're experiencing extreme weather in every corner of the country, because our corner is the one that's not doing it. Yeah.
The best summer so far. I think it's actually becoming a talk of conversation that we've seen in a while. I do want to show you where rain is a problem. Overall, if you're traveling today or you're headed to the airport, scattered showers, nothing unusual here off of the Gulf Coast, and some scattered showers over the southeast. This is the one problem area in terms of heavy rain. I did some looking. So southern Iowa and then pushing into Missouri, they've got 3 to 6 inches of rain are the reports coming out of these big thunderstorm clusters. And then just for fun, I was born here in Des Moines. I grew up here in Columbia, Missouri. So this is my old neck of the woods, if you will, getting hammered with thunderstorms this morning. All right, on the west side, we've got showers pushing out of the northeast. Otherwise, this is a completely dry day shaping up. And the clouds we have, not so much a marine layer, some clouds that have been caught in the flow pattern that should be breaking up, I think, in the coming hours. So we'll go on to be partly to mostly sunny this afternoon, which is what Futurecast shows. Here's 9 o'clock this morning. Here's 5 o'clock this afternoon, right? Overall, including the coast, partly to mostly sunny skies. And we'll see really nice weather tomorrow as well. Tomorrow, less clouds in the morning, which means more of the day will just be sunny. Here are the clouds for the time being, still hunkered over us. Salem Tasting Room in Sherwood, always pretty over the vineyard. 60 is the number. Similar scene over downtown Portland, 62. Winds are light. They'll be northwest today, 5 to 15 miles per hour. It's, again, clouds at the coast, expected to start clearing this morning. 60 in Astoria right now. All dry travels up to Seattle, where it's currently sitting at 59 degrees. All right, our 7-day forecast. Here we go. 75 today, super comfortable. You know, so far August, we're in the first week, I get it, or just getting out of the first 7 days anyway. We're averaging about 3 degrees colder than normal, and we had yesterday's 43 1/100 of an inch, which has put us in the above normal category for rain. So again, look at us. Tomorrow, 82, closer to normal, and then Saturday starting to warm up, but still not bad, 86. The headline here is one time we talked about, we were looking at 3, 4, even 5 days reaching 90, our first little heat wave of the season beyond back-to-back days. Now the rains have been pulled back and we're only expecting 90s on Sunday and Monday. No longer do we have a 100-degree temperature possibility. I've got 95 on Sunday. If anything, this day could be higher. 94 on Monday. And if anything, this day I think could be lower. And then we're 86 on Tuesday and 84 on Wednesday. So a couple hot days, Chris, but hopefully we get through Sunday and Monday in good shape.
Seems to be the status quo for the summer, right? So that's not so bad. Let's go ahead and pick it up on the east side. Northbound 205, running a little thick as you roll through the Lentz neighborhood up towards, well, between Foster and Powell. Not that this is unusual. Right now, that's pegged at about 30 miles an hour or so. The drive north of Wilsonville and I-5 still busy, but you can see we're still zipping along at about 35 to 40 through that stretch of freeway. 23 minutes now, the drive in from Wilsonville, which is actually not bad at all. We'll switch gears and take it to North Portland. I-5 up near the Expo Center. Once again, the end of the line from Clark County has cleared Clark County and made its way down into North Portland. But once you get down to the Expo Center, it's slow and go the rest of the way. About 15 minutes gets you bridge to bridge from the Interstate Bridge to the Fremont Bridge. Back to you, China.
Thank you, Chris. The 5 service members who were shot on base in Georgia yesterday are expected to be okay. Still ahead on Sunrise, what we're learning about the shooter.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Hold on. Okay. I'm trying. Okay. Your time now is 8:22. So President Trump's latest round of tariffs now in effect as of midnight last night, with a few exceptions. Jay Gray has the latest.
Apple is announcing that it will...
In an Oval Office meeting with Apple CEO Tim Cook, touting the company's promise to invest $600 billion in U.S. manufacturing over the next 4 years, President Trump announces a new tariff on semiconductors and chips with one caveat.
So 100% tariff on all chips and semiconductors coming into the United States. But if you've made a commitment to build, or if you're in the process of building, as many are, there is no tariff.
Specifics, including when the tech tariffs will take place and exactly how U.S. manufacturers will qualify for an exemption, still aren't clear. What is clear, though, is the president's frustration with India.
They're fueling the war machine. And if they're going to do that, then I'm not going to be happy.
Raising the country's tariff from 25% to 50% just hours before the plan goes online as a punishment for buying oil from Russia. Announcing that decision, as special envoy, Steve Witkoff meets with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow ahead of a Friday deadline for increased U.S. economic sanctions if there's no ceasefire with Ukraine. The president on social media calling the meeting highly productive and writing, "Great progress was made," suggesting that there may now be a path to face-to-face meetings with Putin and Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky.
That road was long and continues to be long, but there's a good chance that there will be a meeting very soon.
A White House official telling NBC News there's no set plan or location, but that the meeting could take place as early as next week. And overnight, officials at the Kremlin announcing the U.S. and Russia have agreed in principle to a bilateral meeting between President Putin and President Trump, also noting there's an agreement on a location, though they did not reveal that. A couple of thoughts here. First, there's been no response from the White House to this point, and the president has said clearly he'll only go through with the meeting if President Putin also agrees to sit down face-to-face with Ukrainian President Zelensky. Now, there's been no mention of those potential talks at all from officials in Russia. Jay Gray, NBC News, Washington.
Now to your morning rush. We are learning more about the Army sergeant who shot and injured 5 service members at Fort Stewart in Georgia yesterday. 28-year-old Cornelius Radford is in custody. Fort Stewart officials say that he used a personal handgun, not a military weapon. The 5 service members who were injured are all expected to recover. The man who allegedly killed 2 Israeli embassy staffers in Washington, D.C. in May has been indicted on federal hate crime charges. The indictment also includes notice of special findings, which allows the Justice Department to pursue the death penalty. The suspect has not entered a plea. Intel stock slipped this morning after President Trump called for the company's CEO, who just took over in March, to resign immediately. In a Truth Social post, the president said Intel chief executive is, quote, highly conflicted because of alleged ties to China. And Hulu and Disney Plus will soon be combined into one app. The company says streaming app will be available sometime next year. You'll still be able to buy a standalone Hulu or Disney Plus subscription, and that's your morning rush. Still ahead in our next half hour, a local NAACP chapter is taking aim at Portland's Mayor Keith Wilson after he announced the city would be rolling back DEI initiatives to comply with the Trump administration. Plus, the new information we're learning about an 18-year-old suspect who is now in jail after he allegedly attacked an 82-year-old woman behind a public library. KGW News at Sunrise continues after this.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Good morning, I'm China Green. In Vancouver, a man was found dead in his apartment after police say he crashed a tow truck into several cars, then ran away. This happened just after 5 o'clock last night on Mill Plain near 160th. 10 people were hurt, 2 seriously. Police later found the driver at his apartment complex when officers went into his apartment. They say they found the man dead after he apparently took his own life. A reminder, if you or someone you know is struggling, help is available 24/7. Just call or text 988 to reach the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Headed over to Rod Hill now for a look at weather.
All right, John, thank you for that. We have a nice day shaping up. It's a cloudy start here in the valley and also the coast, but partly to mostly sunny skies are expected to begin developing later this morning. 63 in Salem right now, and a very similar scene over downtown Portland, 62. I have some sun, 67 at noon, getting up to 75, and the update on the hot weather now has only Sunday and Monday, back-to-back days, up into the 90s. So plan your weekend accordingly. Saturday 86, Sunday 95.
All right, pretty cool story to start our 8:30 half hour. Jen Powell, you see her right there. She's set to make baseball history this weekend, becoming the first woman to umpire a major league game. She's going to be part of the umpiring crew during games between the Miami Marlins and Atlanta Braves. Powell will work the bases during a doubleheader on Saturday, and then on Sunday, the big job. She'll be behind the plate calling balls and strikes. Again, that's Sunday's game between the Braves and the Marlins. So as we kick off this 8:30 half hour, imagine this, China. You're the umpire behind home plate. There's a close play at the plate. Chris McGinnis, the catcher, puts down the tag. Rod Hill sliding in from third base. Is he safe or out? You make the call.
Out!
Oh, out at the plate, she says.
And then I eject the coach.
I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything.
Rod, you're out because you were moving in slow motion to the tag. And
We weren't fast enough. Sorry, bro.
One more time. He didn't hear you. What is he?
I like it when they go, if it's a ball, right? Yes. Behind the ball. You can barely hear him say anything, ball. But if it's a strike, especially three, it's Steve-Ride!
Yeah, I like a big, loud strike three call for sure.
Yeah, really nice. All right. Out? Really, China?
He is just taken aback by the out call.
I am. I was having a good day until just now. Chinook Winds Casino Resort in Lincoln City. We have the cloudy skies. The coast and the valley expected to start showing sunshine before noon, so later this morning. It'll be a dry day, 59 degrees, shaping up to be a lovely day as well. The cloud deck over Portland is thin, so we get the sun going a little bit more, and we'll start to break up this cloud deck. 62 is the temperature out the door. I have a 67 at noon, and then getting up to 75. Boy, right in that perfectly sweet spot. In fact, most inland areas today across our state, most will hold in the 70s with dry weather coming and sunshine, and then temperatures in the 60s. Sun developing, obviously, here on the west side. We don't have it right now. Next couple days, not bad. Tomorrow, 82, still super comfortable. Warming up Saturday, 86. And then the big update this morning, no longer eyeing anything near 100 on Monday, and it looks like only 2 days will be up in the 90s. Right now, I've got Sunday 95, Monday 94, and then back into the 80s on Tuesday. And that is your update on a Thursday morning. Here's Chris.
That looks good, Rod. Thank you for that. Let's get you out the door with a quick look at your drive times. Not bad. Not nearly as bad as they were yesterday at this time. That was like a safe. I was like, did you like that? Safe. I-5 southbound, 15 minutes to get you in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. The biggest slow spot there is actually once you cross the Interstate Bridge. So basically from the Expo Center down towards Rosa Parks, there's the shot at Rosa Parks. That's a little slow. Switching gears, taking to the Banfield. Interstate 84, slow and steady coming in out near Providence Medical Center. Your trip in on westbound 84, again, not bad. 20 minutes to get you in from Troutdale to the I-5 split. Guys, we could do a lot worse than this for this hour of a Thursday morning.
Thank you, Chris. Your time now is 8:32. Crews responded to a fire at an apartment complex in Gresham just after 4 this morning. A resident at that apartment complex told us that they noticed smoke coming from their neighbor's unit. That resident also said they believe the neighbor started that fire and that it wasn't the first time.
And I went to my front door and saw there was smoke, and so I woke up my roommate, grabbed her cats, and we got out. This is not the first time this neighbor has set a fire.
The Gresham Fire also told us the same unit had a fire on July 26. 3 apartments were affected as crews worked to fight those flames. No one was hurt, and a neighbor's cat that was missing has since been found. Police and fire investigating the cause. An 18-year-old suspect is in jail after investigators say he attacked an 82-year-old woman.
Yeah, the assault happened on a walking trail in Tiger, just behind the public library. We first told you about this story yesterday on Sunrise. KGW's Jay Coulter brings us the update.
For me, I don't feel threatened at all, but that's sad that anybody would do that.
First matter is State of Oregon versus Ford, 25.
18-year-old Marcellus Ford appearing virtually in Washington County Court Wednesday afternoon, accused of assaulting an 82-year-old woman Sunday night. Police say the woman was walking on the Fano Creek Trail behind the Tigard Public Library when Ford began following her. Cyclists later found the woman unconscious on the trail and called 911. She was hospitalized with serious injuries. Police say the attack appears to be random and that this type of crime is unusual in this area.
I walk it every day, 5 days a week, and I never really have had a problem.
Yeah, we're here a lot, probably almost twice a week, and found it super safe. And with the new bridge and stuff, we love it because, my measure is you see all the families and everybody out here, and it's been really great for Tigard.
Surveillance video captured Ford at the library and in the downtown area after the assault. Police released surveillance photos asking for the public's help in identifying him on Tuesday, and Ford was caught soon after. Tigard resident Darren Swanson believes people shouldn't be deterred from using the trail.
People should get out and enjoy their community. So, and I think that there's a virtuous cycle there. The more people that do it, the less likely stuff like this is to happen. And if unfortunately it does happen, then immediately you can help the lady.
Jake Holter, KGW News.
Oregon Governor Tina Kotek has signed 4 bills into law addressing the state's behavioral health and substance abuse crisis. One of the bills aims to make it easier to force treatment on people with severe mental illness.
So when we see people on the street who might be having a crisis, I think we're going to have a more direct path to saying, hey, let's get you some health care right now, because you're clearly in crisis, and because you're so ill you might not know it.
The other law passed funds new residential treatment facilities and behavioral health workers.
The Portland branch of the NAACP is criticizing Mayor Keith Wilson for changing the city's diversity, equity, and inclusion policies. The mayor issued the changes to fall in line with directives from the Trump administration, basically saying that the city cannot give preference to groups based on race or gender. Mayor Wilson says his new order protects Portland from losing millions of dollars in federal grants. But the president of the Portland NAACP chapter told us he believes that this order from the mayor is a big step in the wrong direction.
No matter the rhetoric, no matter the conversation and all of the shenanigans about how they did it and the way they did it, at the end of the day, it's about black people not counting.
According to the city's legal team, there are roughly 75 Portland programs and policies that need to be adjusted.
Local health officials are pushing back against Trump administration cuts to vaccine research. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is terminating 22 contracts focused on developing mRNA vaccines. Experts say that the research has saved millions of lives. Multnomah County health officials are questioning why the federal government would make cuts to research, saying it's instrumental. Kennedy, however, claims the mRNA technology poses more of a risk than benefits for respiratory viruses.
I think it's always a good idea to get the latest COVID vaccination because your immune system needs the new blueprint. Essentially, the structure has stayed the same, but maybe the doors have changed, the windows have kind of changed a little bit.
Now we're developing a universal vaccine at NIH, which is a vaccine that addresses the entire phylum of viruses. And so it's a vaccine that mimics natural immunity, and it is effective against any kind of mutation, so it doesn't drive the virus to mutate.
Both OHSU and Providence have also used the technology in cancer research studies. The Oregon Health Authority says it's awaiting more information on what this means, but they say vaccines are still recommended and available.
A lot of local districts will kick off the school year in just 3 weeks, and that includes the Portland Public School District. Hundreds of teachers from the district gathered yesterday to go over best teaching practices. Superintendent Kimberly Armstrong says that literacy rates and attendance are 2 areas where the district can improve. She was also joined yesterday by a surprise guest, former NFL quarterback Colin Kaepernick, the former QB. Right there on the stage, you see him. Again, a surprise guest at yesterday's event. Armstrong, meanwhile, since she's taken over as superintendent, has emphasized the importance of earning better early literacy scores.
This is the first full week of the annual KGW School Supply Drive, so a quick shout out and thank you to our sponsors this year, On Point Community Credit Union, Rick's Custom Fencing, and Safeway. Safeway and Albertsons are stepping up in a big way, so starting next week, letting shoppers donate to the School Supply Drive through the pin pad at the checkout stands. Safeway spokesperson Jill McGinnis says that their employees also get involved, packing up supplies that go to local students.
So we have Safeway at Albertsons across the whole state that collect funds, and then those school supplies that we buy with those funds go right back to those districts where the stores are. Sometimes it just takes like a little bit of us to make a huge difference for someone else.
And you can donate at local Safeway and Albertsons stores next Monday, August 11th through August 25th.
Hey, if you want to help out the old-fashioned way, you can donate school supplies, physical supplies, the pencils, the glue sticks, the crayons. You can drop those off at any On Point Community Credit Union location or any Rick's Custom Fencing location. Also, this week, On Point is really stepping up for the cause. Every time someone donates $1 to the school supply drive at one of its branches, On Point is going to match it with a $5 donation. So how about that? This Saturday, we'll be collecting events at the Washington Square Mall. You can stop by between noon and 4 on Saturday for that school supply drive collection event. Again, a big thanks to On Point, Rick's Custom Fencing, and Safeway for everything they're doing to make this year's supply drive a big success.
Your time now is 8:40. Headed over to Chris McGinnis for a look at traffic.
Guys, let's pick it up on the west side. A reminder, Cornelius Pass Road, the dry weather today means that ODOT is resuming chip sealing, and what that means for you is that they will be alternating traffic with a pilot car through the work zone for a several-mile stretch between Germantown Road and Skyline Boulevard. So expect significant delays, or you could take the long way around Highway 30, I-405, Highway 26. Keeping it on the west side this weekend, the fourth in a series of 5 weekend closures of Highway 217. This weekend, it's northbound 217 from 99W to Shoals Ferry. That closure kicks in at 9 o'clock on Friday evening. They should have it reopened 5 o'clock on Monday morning. They're doing paving again this weekend and next weekend, getting close to wrapping up that 217 auxiliary lanes project, which should be wrapping up sometime later this year after several years of construction. Keeping it on 217, the southbound commute a little slow near Shoals Ferry. The drive out of Clark County improving. The end of the line, though, has made its way down to, well, the Expo Center. And from there, it's 3 lanes of slow and go down to the Rose Quarter. Drew?
All right, thank you, Chris. Still ahead here on Sunrise, 3 young patients, 3 big wishes. You've heard of Make-A-Wish? How about Bake-A-Wish? We're talking about a dessert competition that's turning sweet treats into hope for other kids who may be facing a difficult diagnosis.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
In a special story of survival this morning, 3 kids in Seattle all dealing with health problems, cooking up a way to make wishes come true for other young patients across the country.
All 3, by the way, also on their own healing journey. NBC's Jay Gray has their story.
No, how do my cups look?
For 17-year-old Rue D'Angle, a self-proclaimed foodie, sharing the kitchen with Chef Uraj at the Fairmont Olympic Hotel in Seattle is like a dream come true.
Watch out, guys.
Or maybe better said, a wish granted.
I didn't know that my wish would expand this much. I feel like I've had so many opportunities with Make-A-Wish.
Rue has struggled with a severe respiratory disorder, but through the Make-A-Wish program made a food-inspired trip to New York. The highlight, cooking classes.
I would never be able to do that on my own. It's amazing.
In most fairy tales, wishes come in 3s. And this story is no different. Theo Avila and Jacqueline Shaka, cancer survivors, are also part of the Make-A-Wish program. Theo's wish, a trip to Hawaii.
I went to a luau. I got to swim with dolphins.
Jacqueline, a quinceañera celebration.
I picked my wish because it was a celebration of my life. I had just gone out of being cancer-free.
But their wishes didn't end with the parties and trips. In fact, they got much sweeter.
And I like the
I agree.
pineapple.
The trio coming together for Bake-A-Wish, each pairing with a chef from Make-A-Wish partner Fairmont Hotels for a friendly culinary competition to create the most wish-worthy dessert. The winner getting a spot on the Fairmont's menu. Each chef ultimately agreeing the tastiest treat was a slice of passion fruit strawberry yogurt cake.
I thought the flowers were an amazing touch, and it was just so creative.
But because wishes really do come true and all the desserts were really good, Theo's coconut tres leches with caramelized pineapple and Rue's s'more cake also earned a spot on the after-dinner list. Right now, the desserts are on the menu from Washington State to here in the Lone Star State. And over the next several months, they'll be rolled out at Fairmont hotels around the world, with proceeds from the sales going to fund special wishes for other young patients.
I think that you should really eat it with passion and, think about maybe you're eating something that might mean something to someone else.
And that's the recipe wishes are made of. Jay Gray, NBC News, Austin.
Pretty cool story there from Jay. Meanwhile, some popular beaches in the Seattle area are at the center of this next story. Many of those beaches are around Lake Washington, and they have been closed at the time of the summer because of goose poop. The poop of goose. Thanks for laughing, Rod.
Thank you.
Signs are posted with warnings from public health officials. They're telling people to stay out of the water because of high levels of bacteria. And again, they likely think it's from waterfowl droppings. Rod, do you like the waterfowl droppings terminology, or do you like goose poop?
I'll take that one.
Goose poop?
Yeah.
All right. According to the Seattle Times, the city's Parks and Rec Department is well aware of this issue, taking steps to lower the numbers of Canadian geese in the area. As the paper put it, quite well, I'd add, Seattle cannot let its best watering holes become, quote, summer-long toxic stews.
Aww.
Toxic stews. Ew.
They're pretty to watch fly overhead. But we've had issues at the airport here locally with them where they've had to deal with that, obvious reasons, planes taking off. And then Heron Lakes Golf Course in Delta Park, very well known for an issue with the geese where it's just a mess.
Yeah.
All over the golf course, as bad as you could possibly imagine. The worst picture you can come up with, that's the image. And they've been battling that. So, yeah, they're a mess.
That wasn't a goose. What was going on there?
There was a bug. Nobody saw that?
No, I didn't see it.
I just looked crazy on air.
Yeah, a little bit.
I thought that was your way of politely telling me to shut up, actually. Shut up, Rod.
Move on.
Jeez. That's what I thought she was doing. This is a warning we started to show you yesterday. It's for the weekend. It's actually today through the weekend, through the day Monday. Talking about low water levels, especially during low tide in the Portland metro area on the Willamette and the Columbia Rivers. Now, the forecast this weekend, Saturday, sunny 86, boaters go nuts. Sunny and mid-90s on Sunday or even hotter, boaters go nuts. So just remember that the warning here is just to use caution and realize you could be flirting with some shallow water that could damage your boat if you're on the rivers boating, especially low tide areas. Or times on this weekend through the day Monday on the Willamette and the Columbia River. So heads up on that. Not unusual to get those warnings this time of the year. Rivers are getting lower and lower progressively as we go into the month of September, as you probably know. All right, here's a look at our dry weather map. We have showers that are just about entirely over in Idaho. So with that moving out, we are dry here in Oregon, up in southwest Washington. Cloudy start to our day, but confidence is pretty high. We'll see at least noticeable sunshine, so some partial clearing between now and noon. 63 in Salem, similar setup in downtown Portland from our Rose City camera, and at 62 degrees. Picked up, if you haven't heard and you're just joining us, 43 107 inch of rain fell at the airport yesterday. Not a record for the date, but an absolutely good soak for the month of August. Salem only had a little bit more than a trace. It was mostly Portland northward was the rain. Again, everybody's dry right now. Salem 63, Eugene 64. If you're going over to Bend, beautiful sunshine today. Temperatures will be comfortably in the 70s, just lovely weather. Baker City, you'll be comfortably in the 70s later today as well. 59 is your current temperature. So let's get you to our forecast highs. Salem 79, Corvallis could hit 80. Only a few spots in the state are expected to hit 80. Corvallis one of them. Northwest winds 5 to 15. Again, I look for partial clearing to start taking place between now and noon, and then we'll be 74 Longview, 75 Battleground, 75 Vancouver. Continuing to have another day with below normal temperatures. With the rain yesterday, it was only 72. We get closer to normal tomorrow as we warm up to 82. A lot of sunshine on your Friday, a beautiful sunny 86-degree Saturday. And the latest here is that we only expect to hit 90 or better 2 days now. So this is much a condensed forecast where it was maybe 3 or 4 days in the 90s. Now I've got 95 on Sunday, 94 on Monday, still the impact alert for the hot afternoons, and then back into the 80s on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Hey, we just realized in our newsroom, I think we realized it this morning or yesterday, that we've had an issue with this email address. So likely some of you have been sending us your birthday pictures to birthdays@kgw.com. We haven't had hardly any on the air this week. We just realized something's wrong with that link. We're working to fix it. Hopefully we'll have that back by tomorrow or Monday at the latest. So for that, we apologize. Chris, back to you.
Rod, thank you for that. Let's pick it up on the Banfield. Do a little round robin here as we round out our morning commute. 84 westbound, still tight out near Providence Medical Center. That's over on the left-hand side of your screen. But again, not bad. We can do certainly worse than this on a Thursday morning at this hour. I-5 up near Rosa Parks. That southbound commute's really puttering along. It's always that right lane that lines up to get onto 405 south, basically from here down to the Fremont Bridge, that seems to be the slowest, and that's the case this morning. Over on the west side, inbound on the Sunset. Let's try that again. Door number 3, inbound on the Sunset. Still a little slow climbing the hill up towards Sylvan, and last but not least, we'll take you down to Bridgeport Village here. This is I-5 near Nyberg, and you can see we're puttering along there as well. Quick look at your drive times. Not bad. Less than 30 minutes to get you in from Wilsonville Road to downtown. Sunrise rolls on after this break.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
In our top stories this morning, an 11-year-old girl disappeared from her Salem home Tuesday, sparking a massive search. Hours later, police found her safe. They also arrested 48-year-old Elijah Arce, who was hiding in bushes nearby. He's accused of luring her away with promises of rocks and crystals, and now faces kidnapping and sex abuse charges. Police in Longview are searching for an armed and dangerous man. They say stabbed 2 people, killing one of them. 51-year-old Alexander Rogers may still be driving this partially black spray-painted BMW with a Washington plate that starts with BNU. Police say that the 2 people were found stabbed in a home off 42nd Avenue and Pennsylvania Street Tuesday. Investigators believe he is still in the area. And in Vancouver, a man was found dead in his apartment after police say he crashed a tow truck into several cars, then ran away. This happened just after 5 o'clock last night on Mill Plain near 160th. 10 people were hurt, 2 seriously. Police later found the driver at his apartment complex. When officers went into his apartment, they say they found the man dead after he apparently took his own life. And a reminder, if you or someone you know is struggling, help is available 24/7. Just call or text 988 to reach the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. It provides confidential support and crisis resources. Again, that number is 988.
All right, we are in store for a really comfortable day. 75, that's it. That's the expected high. Cloudy out there right now, but we look for a partial clearing to start taking place before the noon hour. And the latest on the heat, right now only 2 days expected to hit 90 or better. 95 on Sunday, 94 on Monday.
Predict a Sunday at the pool. The drive through North Portland, I-5 southbound, still a little slow, but we can do worse than this. And that 18 minutes from Main Street to the Fremont, about 16 minutes of that is between the Expo Center and I-405.
Oh, wow.
So just know that. We've cleared out the drive on the Clark County side of things. Elsewhere, again, not bad, 26 minutes, your northbound commute from Wilsonville Road to downtown.
Hey gang, did you know big bucks are up for grabs this year at the U.S. Tennis Open? A record-breaking $90 million in total prize money there. So the winners on both the men's and women's side are taking home the highest payday in tennis history, $5 million. What? Couple of things here. I'm actually surprised. I thought it would have been higher.
Yeah.
Right? Like $5 million, while we know that's a lot of money, don't get us wrong. I felt like the greatest payday in tennis history would have been more than $5 million. I also think it's cool that the men and women are getting paid the same. Because I do find the women's game is more entertaining than the men's game when it comes to tennis.
I think tennis, to their credit, has done that a number of years back. The men and the women prize money is the same.
All right, so there you go.
For the winner, anyway.
We only have 15 seconds left. That's the last story of the morning. But we're getting ready for tomorrow already. Friday edition of the Sunrise Show comes your way starting at 5 a.m. So make sure you're right here with us again on KGW+.